Well, hello guys and welcome back to my channel. Today's video, I'm going to be sharing my goals for the upcoming year, 2022 already. Whew, the past 2 years have been quite the ride, right? Quite the ride. Now, today's video, I'm actually joining a collaboration with my sweet friend Wendy over at Plan Prep Pray, and you're gonna find a playlist down in the description from a bunch of other amazing, lovely ladies who are on YouTube here as well, and they're gonna be sharing their goals too. Now, as far as goals, I'm going to be sharing in 3 categories. I'm going to be sharing personal, homeschool, like personal family goals, I guess, homeschool, and then also business goals. But I want to start with that. I kind of don't like using that term, business goals, because if you're not familiar with the beginning of my channel, this actually happened by accident. It was never the intention to have a YouTube channel, however many years ago now that it was. I think it's 2.5, 3, something like that. But it was never the intention to have a YouTube channel, and then here we are. And I am so grateful for each and every one of you. Now, this whole thing started, just a little backstory here. Let's go down this rabbit trail really quick. But if you're not aware, this whole thing started because after I had our second son, actually, we did a budget challenge, and it was to see if we could get by spending only $100 a month on groceries. And it was a challenge that I knew I wouldn't be able to accomplish unless I had some accountability. And so I went on Blogger and got like this hobby blog called familybudgetchallenge.blogspot.com, and that's what it started as. And I actually enjoyed like doing the daily posts and giving tips and tricks and things like that. And before I knew it, I had family and friends that were following me on that website. Now, that website is still around, but I officially have a penniesandSalt.com. Where the name came from was actually during that time, as I started getting people who were following along with everything, I was like, you know what, let's go with a little catchy thing. And so I called it Pennies and Salt, with the tagline, pinching the most out of God's blessings. So it was kind of derived from the verse in Matthew that talks about the salt of the earth, and I just never changed the name. So that's where it came from, if you've ever wondered, because a lot of it began with like grocery budget challenge stuff, but it kind of evolved into more. And then one day I really kind of missed it, and I had some friends asking for stuff, like for more content, and I was like, you know what, it's so much easier for me to pick up a camera and just throw it on YouTube. And so that's how it happened, and here we are today. And like I said, I'm so grateful for each and every one of you. But with all that said, let's start with those business goals, because it has actually kind of evolved into that for me a little bit inadvertently, and I have you guys to thank for that. So thank you so much. So to go along with that, I would love, sorry, I'm clicking my pen, bad habit. So to go along with that, I would love some input from you guys on what are your favorite things on this channel. What should I do more of? What would you like more of? If you are newer here, or maybe you're here because of one particular area that I have on this channel, I typically do homeschool, just large family, homemaking, just life in general. But then also I do like to focus on like cooking and things like that, and even some gardening thrown in there. Day in the life videos. You all know it's kind of a mix over here, but I would love for you guys to give some input on what are some of your favorite things, content wise, or what would you want more of. In regards to that, one of my goals is actually my website. So last year I actually officially bought the domain for penniesandSalt.com, and my plan was to slowly start moving some content onto there and get rid of that old Blogger account and stuff, because I don't ever do anything with it, but there's some recipes over there that I still want to maintain, and just to be consistent with with posting there, with doing articles and things like that. And I started off strong with 3 articles, and now there hasn't been anything else put there since I think like February. So that is one of my business goals, is I really want to gain some consistency there in at least posting once a week, whether it be a recipe or a post or, whatever it may be over there, as well as on my YouTube channel, which will still probably continue to be 3 days a week, which are Monday, Thursday, Saturday is typically when I try to post. So the once a week and consistency. And now that I say the word consistency out loud, I actually wrote that at the top of my goals sheet here. And it feels really weird to say this, but my word for the year, something that I need to focus on and get better at, is something that I have in the past always been really good at, and that is consistency. So we all have those moments where we slip and we fall with things. And so, before it was intentionality. And I feel like I have moved past that one and can move on to another area, because that one has been, really refined over the past year, especially from different things we've gone through in our family. But also, now we're moving into the one that I've let slip a little bit, and that is consistency, which brings me into, which one am I going to do? School. Let's talk homeschool goals. And here comes the consistency again, getting back and keeping that solid routine that we have always done before. It's just really important for us. And the reason it's so important is because when you have a large family and you have so many kids that you're homeschooling at one time, it's really important to maintain some type of constant structure in your home and have that consistent flow and routine to your homeschool day. I have found that over the years. This is year number 8 for me, and it has never failed to be a prevalent truth in our homeschool. That we've had seasons where we've taken it slow or lax or whatever, but it is so important to have some consistency there and have that routine built in and stuff. Even if it's, a loose routine. I'm not talking rigid schedules. I don't do rigid schedules, but a nice solid flow and routine to the day. It's got to be consistent, and I've got to be more intentional about that. The next thing is something that we're always amazing at, and that was taking field trips. I love taking field trips. But really, honestly, the year 2020 kind of messed that up a lot for us. And that is something that I would really, really love to be consistent and intentional about doing, is putting those field trips back in motion. All right, so that is my main homeschool goals. And now let's move on to personal goals. These personal goals I'm super excited about. You guys, this personal family goal has been a goal of ours since we moved into this house 4 years ago, and it is to get some renovations done, and I'm so excited. We have done some small things like paint and light fixtures and little things, painting cabinets, little things like that here and there. But we're getting ready to do 2 big projects, 2 bathrooms. I'm hoping to take you guys along for that and share progress with that, probably in some day in the life vlogs. And then the other thing is I have goals for the garden, and I'm probably going to do another video about this. Some of you really like for me to share gardening stuff, and so I have some big goals this year, and that is expanding, number 1. Including doing a big family garden at my mom's, because they were blessed to be able to move to their forever home until, not going to say that. I started to say until the end. Man, that sounds terrible, and I just said it. Anyway, but I'm going to do a big family garden for them at their house for our whole family to kind of be a part of, and also just doing a lot more canning and preserving. And then the last one is scripture memory. Talk about consistency, or should I say current inconsistency. So yeah, there's a kid up. I'm going to wrap this up here. I won't keep you too long, but the inconsistency that I want to make consistent again. I know you guys can hear this. Anyway, is the scripture memory for my own personal self. I've been intentional about it over the past few years with my kids. It's something that I have let slip for myself on doing independently, and something that I want to make sure I pull back in and get consistent again about. So just being intentional and consistent about scripture memory for myself. Now, I want to thank you guys so much for joining me today. Thank you, Wendy, for hosting this. And check out the playlist down below, and I'll see you guys on future videos. Thanks so much, guys, and have a blessed day.